Jemma Birrell ran the Sydney Writers' Festival for, I can't even remember now, some years, and did an excellent job. The Writers' Festival took off over the last, 5 to 10 years. It's grown enormously and is now just one of the great things on the Sydney calendar. She wrapped it up last year and is now taken off to help run Tablo. Jemma,
Hello.
how are you going?
Very well. I'm enjoying this change.
How long did you run Sydney Writers' Festival for?
I was there. I did 4 different editions of the festival. So I arrived into the end of 2012, and there was four editions.
There were 4. Yeah, and that one of the great jobs, I would have thought.
In Sydney, yes, anywhere. I think it's truly one of the best festivals in the world, and I loved it. I loved the curation elements. I loved dealing with the writers, and I loved championing new writing and helping readers basically discover the best out there. And I think in a way that's what I'm doing with Tablo, where I'm now working.
We're going to get to Tablo. You don't have to link to Tablo. We're getting to Tablo. Don't worry. I just wanted you to reflect a little on, now that it's a year or two back. I mean, I'm still blown away by the appetite, not just at Sydney Writers' Festival, but, through Vivid Talks or TED Talks or any number of talks. The Opera House itself now will just put on talks. The appetite for talk, to come out and listen to people talk, just seems extraordinary to me.
Well, I really think we need that depth and that level of conversation that is more substantial than everywhere else, actually. So at a festival or in a live community, you're connecting with other people, and I think we all need that connection today, really. So they're becoming more and more popular. And yes, the festival grew exponentially over the last 4 years.
Yes, all because of you.
Oh, all because of me.
And I suppose what I meant by one of the great jobs, I would imagine it might be something that's hard to follow up on. You've run something like that, so yes, you can't do it forever, but what do you do next?
Well, that's the question. And, there's so many possibilities in the world of publishing and books and writing. And so for me, it was really about actually kind of looking forward and looking at what's next, because I think that's a big kind of area to explore that really hasn't kind of been embarked upon fully yet, or the potential has not been reached. And so that's what I was really interested in next.
Yeah, so you could have gone to another festival, you could have gone to one of the big publishers, I assume, with your sort of experience. Yes, come to us. But you chose Tablo. What is Tablo?
Well, Tablo is basically a home online for writers and readers. And it's a space where basically anyone can publish their story and anyone can go and read either new work or classics, a whole range of work. And it's a little bit, we think of it a little bit like a YouTube for writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone can publish, obviously then anyone can read. What's the difference between this and a blog? I can now get onto, Blogspot, and there'll be hundreds of blogs there and that sort of stuff.
Well, I think the point of this is it really is, like the festival would showcase a whole range of writing, this has different communities, different groups for all different genres of work. So, for example, if you're a romance writer or a science fiction writer, you can go there, you can find a home, a community, you can publish your work, you can get feedback from readers and actually from other writers. And it really gives you a good sense of community when you're writing, when you're working, so you're not alone in that space.
It's funny, isn't it, how online we make these sort of divisions. Like in another way, I could just start a science fiction Facebook page and put stuff up there every day.
You could. We do make those divisions, but I think what's really interesting is actually the cross-section between the physical communities and the online communities, and that's what we're doing really well.
What does that mean?
Well, basically, I think it's what we're trying to do is, first of all, authors can actually publish their book to the iBook store. So that's one way of doing it online, so they can directly make money in that way. But they can also connect to more traditional publishing communities. Like, for example, the State Library of Victoria has a new partnership with Tablo. So writers can go to book clubs, for example, and get feedback from other authors, find out how they write, get hints and advice and information. So there's that physical space where people can go to at the State Library, for example, and we'll also
So you mean you're having actual events, like a Tuesday night or
Actual
something, people
events.
come in?
Yeah.
And are they discussing Tablo writers?
No. So, for example, Alec Patik, who won the Miles Franklin this year, he has done basically a Q&A, an interview at the State Library of Victoria. And so there'll be an author event where people in the State Library community and the Tablo community will go along and enjoy that event. And then afterwards, or they also will find out more information from that author on Tablo in a Q&A. So they can ask in the online space, they can ask whatever question they'd like of the author. And then they can also attend the book club.
So what does Tablo look like? What's on the screen?
Well, you can access it on the web or on your phone. So it's an app as well, and you just download it very quickly and easily. And you can go into that space. You immediately will start sampling different work and reading other work, which is great for new writers because their work is showcased straight away.
So do I click on poetry, science fiction?
Yeah, you
romance,
can choose whatever
sort of
area
thing?
you
Right.
choose, like whatever area you're into, you can choose, or you can choose multiple areas, and then you'll be reading that work. But also, you might actually just want to publish your work immediately. So say you're a want-to-be writer, James, and you have a story or two, or maybe you've just got an essay or two or a few chapters in you, and you kind of want to experiment, you want to put it into the world, but you don't want to wait years to publish the work or to find a publisher. You actually just want to connect directly with readers or with possible readers and other like-minded people. So you can go on there, you can publish in a serialized way, chapter by chapter, or you can just publish a whole book on Tablo and then onto the iBook store if you choose.
And so I mean, we're saying publish. I'm just uploading, really, aren't I? I mean, I feel as though I feel a slight confusion that like publish to me means there's a publisher. There's going to be a financial return or something like that. Is there anything like that involved in Tablo?
Well, there is if you're selling it on the iBook store, but on Tablo itself, it enables you to sell it onto the iBook store. And the thing about it is that the actual format, the look of it is absolutely stunning. So it looks like the most beautiful book that you're going to read. It's very easy to to go through the chapters and to read and to pick up either on the phone or, on the website. Right. So that really is quite unusual in the way that it's so readable. Yeah.
How long's it been going?
It's been going for about 4 years. So 2 years ago, I met the CEO, who's only 23. His name is Ash Davies, and he's absolutely brilliant.
Now. That's it. I'm just annoyed. I don't want to know anything more about it. He's 23.
Yeah, he's incredibly impressive. So I was wowed immediately. I was working at the festival, of course, and
this is Australian, right? He's
Melbourne Australian. Guy? Yeah, he's Melbourne-based, and he actually wanted to publish his own photography book, and he was finding it extremely difficult that all the other avenues were so much more complicated. And so he decided that he wanted to build the best possible and easiest way for writers to connect with readers. And he then created this bestseller, this photography guide that's done really well. So that was just his initial example of getting this whole thing started.
Right. So it's been running for 4 years. What are its sort of successes so far? Is there anyone we know who's come through Tablo and is now a published writer? Is that the aim?
Well, I think it is the aim. So I think, it's one of the aims. It depends on why you're going there and what you want to do. So you might be a published author. You might already have been published by a certain publishing house, a traditional publisher. For example, there's a writer called Anna Spargo-Ryan, and she's published by Pan Macmillan, and she's got a book called The Paper House, which is brilliant. And she's also she's also actually experimented with some work and put some different, a few different stories on Tablo. So I guess it's a way for people, even if they do have a traditional publisher, to also share work online and see what readers think and actually get direct feedback from them.
So it's similar to YouTube. I might start my making some short films here, so, some things. If it takes off, if people like it, then I might move into back into the mainstream as such.
Exactly. But, I think the aim, what we'd love to see is it's really kind of the future of publishing in terms of a whole ecosystem where writers can find and readers can find whatever they need. For example, a writer might actually want to have a traditional publishing contract and be physically published in the world. So we're going to be looking at creating partnerships with traditional publishers and also bookshops, and the sky's the limit in terms of those different relationships. The State Library of Victoria is just the beginning.
Now, why did you see this particular form as the future? Is there nothing similar around the world? Is there something that Tablo's doing that you felt, yep, this is the kind of way it's going to be?
Well, I think Tablo is doing it the best, like better than anything else out there. So there's other platforms where people can publish their work online, of course. There's blogs, there's something called Wattpad, for example, but none of them are as good. And none of them are actually as readable. So when you write and you read on Tablo, the experience is so much better than anything else. So that was, for me, I really saw Tablo concretely trying to kind of find a new publishing model, a new model for writers and readers. I mean, it's so interesting to think about how can writers connect with readers directly and also potentially make money directly. So we're going to be looking at different potential models for authors to do that on Tablo, in addition to the iBook store, for example. So I think the mix between traditional publishing as an option and also online publishing is really key. And it's actually, that is what the future is. And I don't think anyone else is doing it as well.
Well, thank you, Jemma, so much for taking us into this world, and all the best with it.
That is a pleasure. Thank you.
We just put in Tablo, spelled Tablo, and we'll find it easily online,
Exactly. It's tablo.io, the website.
Simple. Thanks, Jemma.
Great. Thanks a lot.
All the best. That's Jemma Birrell, Creative Director of Tablo, Tablo, not the traditional spelling. Look it up, have a look, see what you think.